Live from WRAL News Headquarters in Raleigh, your number one source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
It is a hot Saturday, and we are literally just warming up. Thank you for joining us. I'm Grace Holland. We now have 3 WRAL weather alert days coming soon, all because of extreme heat. Meteorologist Grant Skinner is here to tell us more about the dangerous temperatures on their way this weekend. Grant, people got to be careful out there.
Yeah, drink plenty of water, take breaks in the AC whenever you can. This area of high pressure that's just to the west is going to continue to build over the region, and with that, we're going to see soaring temperatures into your Sunday and also the first part of the work week. Outside, it looks beautiful right now. Tons of sunshine, just a few cumulus clouds and some high clouds mixed in as well. But with that, we've got some heat today and then even hotter temperatures for your Sunday. So by tomorrow morning, low 70s. It will start comfortable, not too humid, but then getting more humid throughout the day. And the temperatures push into the mid to upper 90s. 97 in Raleigh, 94 Goldsboro by tomorrow afternoon, Roxborough at 96, 97 in Fayetteville. And our heat risk will climb as those temperatures climb and the humidity climbs. So a major heat risk into Monday, but then look at Tuesday. Climbs to the extreme risk. We'll talk about more when we'll see those triple-digit temperatures and also how hot we'll stay throughout next week coming up in just a bit.
Okay, thank you so much, Grant. Today is day 2 of the Out Raleigh Pride Festival in downtown Raleigh. Right now, thousands of people are gathered on Fayetteville Street. That's where we find WRAL's Willie Danley. Willie, how is the festival going despite the heat?
Grace, it's definitely very busy out here and also very hot, but you can see behind me that people are not letting this heat interfere with the festivities. I mean, they have vendors out here selling food, clothing, drinks, and there's definitely plenty of water to keep everyone cool. This is the 13th year that this festival has been held in downtown Raleigh. Last night was geared towards the adults, but today is geared towards people of all ages. Organizers tell me this is an inclusive event for everyone, and the crowd out here is a testament to that. I've spoken to a lot of people today, and they tell me in light of recent legislation around the country that's been targeting the LGBTQ community, it's as important as ever to show up out here and support Raleigh Pride.
Absolutely. I mean, I feel like Raleigh has such a vibrant LGBTQ community scene, and it's very important that we remember to celebrate and not to feel too doom and gloom about the recent news and look out for one another in this particular time.
Not only is this festival supporting Raleigh's LGBTQ community, it's also raising funds for the LGBTQ Center of Raleigh. This event ends at 7 o'clock tonight, but I'm told that the fun does not stop there. There are going to be events held all around the city of Raleigh that go into the morning hours. Stay tuned at WRAL. Willie Danley, WRAL News, live in downtown Raleigh.
All right, thank you, Willie. Looks like a lot of fun out there. A move indoors didn't slow the crowds at this year's Pride Festival in Fayetteville. More than 2,000 people attended today's event. It moved into the Crown Coliseum this year. Organizers said the previous venue, Festival Park, was so open that it would be hard to ensure adequate security. The indoor event also got people out of the heat. Megan?
Yeah, I'm Megan Glova, staying on top of this headline of the WRAL Live Center tonight. Several B-2 bombers took off from Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri overnight. NBC reports these are going toward Guam. Now, it's all coming as President Donald Trump weighs military options over a potential airstrike in Iran. Of course, a 9th day of conflict happening between Iran and Israel right now. As for President Trump, he's given himself 2 weeks to figure out how he plans to address Iran's nuclear ambitions, leaving some room for negotiations there as well. We're expecting him to continue talks at a NATO summit in the Netherlands next week. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Megan. Raleigh police are investigating several violent crimes this weekend. A person went to the hospital after they were stabbed several times inside a nightclub. This happened at Club Love on Craftsman Drive around 2 a.m. The person is expected to recover. Police are searching for the suspect. A man was shot in downtown Raleigh. Police say 2 men were fighting on Fayetteville Street just before 1 a.m. Officers say one shot the other. No arrests have been made so far. The man shot went to the hospital and is expected to survive. Raleigh police also say someone walked into Wake Med this morning with a bullet wound around 2:30 a.m. His injury was not life-threatening. No word on a suspect yet or where that shooting happened. And this crash blocked several lanes of I-87 near Knightdale this morning. At least 2 vehicles were involved in this. A large truck carrying logs was towed away from the scene. There was heavy fog in that area this morning. We are still working to confirm what caused that crash and whether anyone was hurt. Today, the NTSB started investigating at the site of this plane crash in Harnett County. Anton Van Deth and Dwight Fry died in the crash. The plane came down at NC Wake Boats, and that's a boat dealer on Holly Springs Church Road near Broadway. Several neighbors heard the plane come down, including a local pilot. He says he didn't know the men killed, but he often saw that plane flying over. It was a 1986 Pitts Aerobatics aircraft, which is a stunt plane. Week-long celebrations commemorating Juneteenth continue in our area. The holiday is known to bring people together through music, food, and events. It's also a time to reflect on why we celebrate. WRAL's Laura Levine takes us to historic Staggville in Durham, which is sharing the hard truths of the past.
Here at the Staggville plantation, you can feel the emotions, the pain, the trauma, and the stories behind these dwellings. The Emancipation Proclamation was signed in 1863, and it wasn't until 2 years later where hundreds of people here gained their freedom.
You kind of look at like the suffering that people went through.
People from near and far are walking through historic Staggville, connecting to a dark past on the once Cameron family-owned plantation.
And it just like makes you just really go through like a deep sense of emotions.
This was home to about 1,000 enslaved people at its peak. The now historical site commemorating the moment they were set free.
So we want to remember the stories of people who were seeking freedom long before 1865.
Vera Soselsky is the site manager leading tours this Juneteenth weekend through a row of two-story wooden houses that held 20 to 30 enslaved people each, painting the picture of pain and perseverance.
People continued to struggle for citizenship, for voting rights, access to land ownership, safety for themselves and their families after the end of enslavement.
She says during emancipation, 1 in 3 people in the state were still enslaved.
But they also had hopes and dreams of new safety, new opportunity, new possibilities.
Those new possibilities are represented in Durham today, from the African-American businesses to neighborhoods descendants now live in.
So when folks come here to Staggville, they're going to hear the narratives of Mary Walker, of Cy Hart, of Dempsey Henderson, of Emma Turner, of real people who lived through emancipation here. And through those stories, we can empathize with and have a deeper understanding.
The struggle and resilience on display with celebrations around the globe. Juneteenth has become an opportunity of reflection and growth, highlighting why this part of history still matters today. Laura Levine, WRAL News, Durham County.
And crowds gathered across town to celebrate Juneteenth at North Carolina Central University. Fashion took a prominent place at that event. Local vendors set up tents offering everything from the clothing you see here to fabric to health advice and books.
It brings Black culture, you know, as far as what we went through back in the days during our slavery years. So it's just celebrating what we went through, the blood we shed. And it's just an amazing event.
There's also live music and entertainment specifically for the kids. The event runs until 8 tonight. Raleigh DMV confusion.
He kind of laughed and he said, you know, guys, they're not going to open. And we go, what? He goes, I see this every week. They say they're open on Saturdays. They've never been open once.
That's right. The sign on the Spring Forest Road DMV office door says open Saturdays, but it's not true, leaving dozens of customers confused and frustrated. What's going on here? We'll explain after the break. And brace for the big heat. Meteorologist Grant Skinner shows us where we hit triple digits and how long they stick around. You are looking live over Beaufort this evening. What a wonderful day to be out on the water in this hot weather. Thank you for watching WRAL News. Cancer is supposed to be rare in young people, but doctors across North Carolina say that is changing fast. A new WRAL documentary, Diagnosis: Young, the new face of cancer in North Carolina, investigates who this is happening to and why. The American Cancer Society says 1 in 5 colorectal cancer cases now occur in people younger than 55. More young people are also getting diagnosed with breast and uterine cancers.
Doesn't matter how old you are, doesn't matter how healthy you are.
This is a random process that can happen to any of us.
What can we do to move forward? Because I don't want to die. So what do we need to do?
We'll also look at why doctors and researchers believe the food we eat could be a big factor in why this is happening and what's being done to save lives. Diagnosis Young, the new face of cancer in NC, airs Thursday at 7:30 on WRAL or on WRAL's YouTube page. People are still frustrated with local DMV offices more than 3 weeks after the new commissioner explained changes aimed at fixing the department's challenges. And this time, it's not the long lines. Max Trujillo says he and his daughter waited at the office on Spring Forest Road this morning. They were there to get her learner's permit, and dozens of other people were in line too, but the office never opened, even with this sign on the door listing the hours from now through August. A nearby business owner told Trujillo he's seen this the last few Saturdays because that office has been open for summer's Saturday walk-ins previously, but not this year. The DMV announced last month that the office on New Bern Avenue would be open Saturdays instead of this one.
A simple sign on the door that just said, "We apologize for the inconvenience, we won't be open today," would have sufficed. And even though we woke up early, we wouldn't have been there for 3.5 hours. You know, that's all we needed was just a note, just to say we're not going to be open today.
We've reached out to the DMV for comment about this, and we're still waiting to hear back. Again, in Raleigh, the DMV offices with Saturday hours are the ones on New Bern Avenue and Avent Ferry Road. You can find the full list of DMV offices in North Carolina that are open on Saturdays at WRAL.com. Just search DMV. The sounds of Juneteenth celebrations filled Wake County today. Line dancers broke out their footwork at the NC Throwdown Juneteenth Grand Cookout at Moore Square this afternoon. Crowds gathered to enjoy a food truck rodeo and products of other Black-owned businesses. Organizers we spoke to say it was a way to bring the community together.
We see so much violence on the news, on the internet, and we embrace separation so much. We should embrace togetherness. So that's why this is impactful and big for the community, big for Raleigh, big for North Carolina, big for Durham, all surrounding areas.
The event also hosted live music and a step show. Music and family fun filled the newly renovated amphitheater in Rollsville. The Freedom in the Park Juneteenth celebration took over the Mill Bridge Nature Park. A grant from the United Arts Council allowed the towns to hire live musicians. The town manager says it was important to throw a celebration that made everyone feel welcome. 2 days of Juneteenth events wrapped up in Wake Forest this afternoon. The town held a freedom walk that ended at the W.E. Du Bois School campus. Activities included a DJ, dance groups, and local vendors. And Garner held its Juneteenth celebration this morning at the Garner Performing Arts Center. Local choirs joined dance groups and a series of speakers, some in person and others on video. The message focused on the town's history and the lived experience of residents through the years. Meteorologist Grant Skinner joining me now. Man, it was a busy weekend around our area with all these different events, a lot of them outside. And it's only going to get hotter, right?
Yeah, so people that are going to be out and about definitely need to have the water on standby. It's going to be hot throughout the rest of the weekend, and the start of the work week is going to be even hotter. We'll talk more about when we'll see that triple-digit heat coming up in a second. I want to show you outside first. This is the view from Sanford. It's beautiful out there, so hope you're able to enjoy some time outdoors. Maybe limit that time just a bit because of the heat. Drink plenty of water, but all the sunshine from Sanford is nice, and downtown Raleigh looks great as well. 92 degrees is the current temperature, a mix of clouds and sunshine over downtown. Temperatures are pretty comfortable right now, but they're going to get hot into tomorrow. You can see the rain chances have picked up just a bit in areas of the south and east, a few showers from the sea breeze, but most places are pretty quiet across the area. Temperatures right now in the low 90s. Again, I say comfortable because it's not so humid out there compared to what we'll see in the next few days. 90 in Fayetteville, 92 in Raleigh, 89 in South Hills. Southern Pines is at 90 degrees, and Goldsboro's at 87 right now. Heat index isn't so unbearable, so only 1 degree above that air temperature for the heat index. Raleigh at 93, South Hill at 91, Roxborough feeling like 86 right now. So tonight, it's going to be comfortable tomorrow morning. Not too hot, not too humid, low 70s to start, 72 degrees and Raleigh, 71 Rocky Mount, South Hill at 70 degrees to start the day tomorrow. Then throughout the day, that's when the heat will build. The high pressure will build over the area, so temperature of 97 by 4 o'clock. A mix of clouds and sunshine throughout the day. I think we'll see more of the cloud cover during the first part of the day, then mostly clear by the afternoon. But that heat index picking up just a little bit as that humidity starts to rise. So 100 for the heat index in Raleigh tomorrow. It'll feel hotter throughout the day tomorrow. 99 the heat index in South Hill. Fayetteville feeling like 98 by tomorrow afternoon. So again, the heat is only going to build as the high pressure builds over the area. For the start of the work week, we're going to see highs between 96 to as high as 102 for a few spots for the first part of the work week. So what that means is you need to practice heat safety, drink plenty of water, take breaks in the AC when you can. And I mentioned that heat index tomorrow getting as high as around 100, 101. Look at Tuesday and Wednesday. Some spots could feel like around 110 degrees. So it's going to get significantly hotter into the start of the work week as that high pressure builds. Now, by the back half of the week, we'll have some chances for some isolated showers and some brief storms as well. And you'll see that kind of slowly pick up into the back half of the week. So 20% Wednesday, Thursday, 30 by Friday and Saturday. We're going to be hoping for a brief shower to cool us off from the intense heat, because look at this, 97 tomorrow, and we don't get below 98 throughout the whole rest of next week. Weather alert days Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday because of the intense heat in the first half of the week. But tomorrow, getting hotter, not quite at that heat advisory criteria quite yet, but going to stay dry, just hot. I can't emphasize enough, drink plenty of water over the next few days.
Yeah, thanks so much. And I'm just glad I got my morning run in
Yes.
today and not later.
Smart.
Chris Lee joining us now. Chris, big weekend for race fans and women's soccer fans.
Absolutely, and it's going to be hot in both places as well. The racing weekend at the Tricky Triangle is going to be huge. Who's in pole position for tomorrow's big-time Cup race? Plus, can the Courage get another win without their coach, Sean Nahas? He's expected to miss another match, and how the team is responding. That's next in sports. It's a big weekend at Pocono Raceway in Pennsylvania, and Bahama native Lane Riggs got the party started last night in the Truck Series race. Riggs got his first pole of his career before the race and followed it up with his third career win, first at Pocono. Riggs just turned 23 10 days ago, and he's one of the promising young drivers on the scene. He's the son of Scott Riggs. Congratulations to Lane. All right, guys, you know they call Pocono the Tricky Triangle, one of the more unique tracks on the circuit because it's not an oval, it's not a roads course, it's a legit triangular shape, and that causes unique issues on turns. Cup qualifying today for tomorrow afternoon's race. The fast man around the track happens to be the racer with the most wins at Pocono. Denny Hamlin zipped through during qualifying as he walks into Sunday with pole position, looking for his 8th win ever at Pocono.
Every week we have a great shot to win, and this team just knows what I need out of the car, and with all the cars and tires and everything just changed over time, you still make speed at this track the same way. And so it's able to execute it there in qualifying, and obviously that's a good start for us.
So good. So can Hamlin get his 8th win at that racetrack? The Great American Getaway 400 at the Tricky Triangles tomorrow at 2 o'clock. In just a few weeks, NFL and college training camps will start to begin the 2025 season. Until then, you'll see a lot of these. Football camps. The Thomas brothers, Thayer, Drake, and Lex all teamed up to put on a football camp at their alma mater, Heritage High School, earlier today. They were joined by several other NC State alum to help run drills for the young players. Thayer says this is their way as professionals to give back to a community that gave so much to them.
And the biggest thing is just giving back to the community. You don't have a lot of, professional athletes that come out of certain areas. And so when you have, a few guys that are from the same area, along with, being brothers, that kind of makes it special. And we always like coming back to Heritage and Wake Forest because this is where we're from, and we always love to get back to the area. If we can just have any impact on these kids, and it could be just high school, it could be middle school ball, we're just trying to make some kind of impact on these kids' lives.
It's looking like you won't see NC Courage head coach Sean Nahas on the sidelines once again tonight. He's been sidelined with an undisclosed illness over the last few games. Since then, assistant coach Nathan Thackeray has taken over as the team's interim head coach. Thackeray says that he was able to visit the team this week in the facility, and that has given him some confidence to step up as his team's coach in a new position for him.
Our ideas of the game align pretty consistently. There's obviously a few things here where I see something different, and he sees something different, which is natural in any coaching staff. So I think the fact that I was able to come in has been relatively seamless from an on-field standpoint, because we're still working on a lot of the same things with maybe an addition here or there based on the opposition.
The Courage will host the Houston Dash tonight. Both teams are currently in the bottom 4 of the NWSL standings. Tonight game kicks off at 7:30 at Wake Med Soccer Park. And if you watch Game 7 of the NBA Finals tomorrow, here's who to look out for. Players with local ties. Former Tar Heel Tony Bradley is on the Indiana Pacers roster, along with former Wake Forest star James Johnson. The Oklahoma City Thunder have Greensboro native Aaron Wiggins on their roster. Wiggins has shown some great flashes this series as a shooter. The winner-take-all Game 7 is tomorrow at 8 o'clock. And I have to say, I'm a little partial to Wiggins because when I was in Greensboro, I covered him in high school. He's a really good kid.
That's cool. That's always cool when it's someone that you've covered before. But it's cool to see just people from our area competing.
Absolutely.
Thanks for joining us. Have a good evening.